My beloved, my chosen one, my child of light, hand-picked by heaven itself, why does your soul feel this sudden shiver? Because something you were never supposed to see has finally reached you, and Archangel Michael refuses to let you walk blind into the trap set behind your back. 2 hours left. 2 human hours before a table is opened, before voices gather, before your name is placed at the center of a meeting that was never meant for you to hear. They are whispering, beloved, whispering about your removal. Your removal from the very place where God planted you, the place He intended you to bloom. And heaven is trembling, because this is not a normal moment. This is not a joke. This is not a casual sign you can ignore. Michael says, my child, I order you to open this quickly, and tell no one. For if you delay, they will think they have won. And if you skip, you will hand them the victory they have been waiting for. But you, yes, you, the one reading these words with your heart racing, you are not just another soul on earth. You are heaven's investment. You are God's golden lamp placed in a darkened room. And that is why shadows have gathered, jealous, bitter, conniving, seeking to blow you out. My dear one, lean close now, because I must tell you, this meeting was set long before you knew. But what they did not know was that Michael himself, the Archangel of War and Truth, would tear open the veil and whisper into your ears before their plan could breathe. God will never let His chosen walk blind. You must understand this. It is not just your name they are plotting against. It is your destiny, your assignment, your breakthrough. If they silence you, they silence what heaven placed in you. But Michael swears by the throne of God, they will not succeed, if only you listen now, and do not skip this. My beloved child, before I go deeper, let me pause here and say something important. If you are feeling this message in your spirit, if your body trembles and your heart beats faster as you read these words, it is because heaven wants you to stay connected. Don't skip, don't let the enemy win by distraction. Stay with me, and make sure you subscribe, yes, subscribe so that every word, every warning, every miracle sent from heaven will reach you before it's too late. Do not let this connection break, because this is more than a message, it is your lifeline. Now listen carefully, child. 2 hours. That is all. They are already writing your name on the paper, already deciding who will sit across the table. They are disguising their motives as concern and discussion, but heaven has exposed the truth. They want you out. They want you removed, erased, forgotten. But God says, not while my hand is upon you. Can you feel the battle in the air? The tension wrapping around your spirit? That is not imagination. That is Michael himself standing beside you, sword drawn, wings stretched wide, covering you even as you read this. They see you as weak, but heaven sees you as unshakable. They think they can decide your fate, but heaven says, only I decide. Oh my child, do you realize the weight of this? Do you know why Archangel Michael is speaking with such urgency, why he begs you not to skip this moment? Because what is at stake is more than a seat at their table. What is at stake is your legacy, your blessings, your divine inheritance. They cannot remove what God has already written. But they can make you doubt, they can make you fearful, they can make you step aside if you don't recognize this warning. That is why you were stopped here. That is why this message forced itself into your path, even though you thought you were just scrolling, just passing time. No, beloved. This is no accident. This is heaven saying, open this now. Do not delay. Do not skip. For I am telling you what they never wanted you to know. And if you dare to believe, if you dare to hold on to this word, then you will see something they never expected. The very meeting they designed against you will turn into their own undoing. The trap they set will collapse under their feet. The removal they discussed will turn into your promotion. Because when God says yes, no man, no enemy, no counsel can say no. But the question remains, child. Will you stay, or will you skip? Will you read to the end, or will you let distraction snatch this lifeline from your hands? Because every second you hesitate, their voices get louder. Every minute you delay, their hands grow bolder. But every line you read here, every truth you hold on to, strengthens Michael's shield around you. I will keep speaking. Line by line. Hook by hook. Until your spirit is awakened to the reality that you are not alone. You are defended. You are chosen. You are marked by heaven. And this removal they are plotting? It will be the biggest shock of their lives when they see you still standing, still rising, still shining, untouched by their plans. Because, beloved, God never loses. And neither do His chosen. My child. My beloved soul. Do you feel how the air itself around you has shifted? It is not ordinary. It is heavy because angels are pressing closer, trying to make sure you don't miss this. 2 hours left. But in heaven's eyes, those 2 hours are the thin line between what they wanted for you and what God has prepared for you. The enemy thinks they are clever, but Michael says, I saw them. I was in the room when they whispered your name. And I must tell you what he revealed. The words on their lips were filled with envy. They looked at your growth, your light, your blessings, and could not stand it. They are not against you because of what you did wrong. No, child. They are against you because of what you carry. Your very presence exposes their darkness. Your light unsettles their shadows. And that is why they are trying to arrange this meeting. They are hoping to push you aside before you rise too high. But here is the truth, they are too late. For God already sealed your name in His book of destiny. And no human plan can erase it. They cannot remove what heaven has written. But you must be alert now. You must not let their whispers enter your spirit. You must not let fear tell you that they hold the final word. Beloved one, lean closer. Michael's sword has already been drawn. His wings have already spread across your doorway. The very place they think will be your removal will turn into the very place of your rising. Because God does not play by their rules. Heaven does not sit at their tables. And the meeting they are arranging will collapse when heaven interrupts. But here is what you must know. The test is not only in their plans. The test is in your heart. Will you believe the lies whispered in shadows? Or will you believe the word shouted from heaven? Because if you believe the lie, you empower it. But if you believe heaven, you disarm them before they even begin. This is why Michael begged me to say, "My child, stay awake. Stay open. Do not skip this. For these words are your shield." Do you understand why you are here? Because out of millions, you were chosen to hear what no one else was allowed to know. This message did not go to your neighbor. It did not land in the hands of your enemy. It landed in yours. Because you are the one heaven is protecting. Now let me tell you what comes next. In 2 hours, when they sit, there will be silence at first. Then one voice, a loud one, will rise. It will sound strong, but inside it is trembling, because that person knows they are fighting against something bigger than them. They know they are fighting against God's child. And when they say your name, when they bring up your removal, heaven will send confusion into their midst. What they intended to be smooth will turn into disorder. Arguments will break out among them. And the one who wanted you gone will suddenly look like the fool. This is not my promise, it is God's. He says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." But here is the miracle, you don't even have to fight them. Your silence will be louder than their noise. Your faith will be heavier than their schemes. Because heaven fights for you when you stay connected to this truth. My dear one, pause for a moment. Breathe. Can you feel Michael's presence around you? The tingling in your chest, the rush through your hands, the chills on your back. That is not fear. That is confirmation. That is Michael standing so close that his shadow covers yours. You are not reading empty words, you are standing in a portal of truth. And child, remember this. When God allows Michael to speak, it is never casual. It is never ordinary. It is always urgent. He does not waste his voice. So if you are hearing this now, it means heaven has placed you in the center of its attention. 2 hours left, beloved. Not to fear. Not to panic. But to prepare. To lift your heart and know, what they planned will not stand. What they discussed will not succeed. What they whispered will not manifest. Because God Himself has already overruled it. Stay with me, child. Don't skip a single word. Because every line is unraveling the knot they tied around your name. Every truth you take in is cutting the rope they tried to bind you with. And by the end of this message, you will walk freer, lighter, stronger than you ever have. Because you are not just a survivor. You are heaven's chosen one. And your removal? It has already been cancelled. My child. My beloved one. Do you know why your heart is still racing? It's because your soul already knows this is real. You can try to tell yourself it's just words, but deep down you feel heaven pressing you, urging you not to walk away from this moment. 2 hours. That is all. 2 hours before the papers are set on that table. 2 hours before voices gather with your name on their lips. 2 hours before their plan, which has been carefully hidden, tries to unfold against you. But heaven is faster. Heaven is louder. And heaven will not stay silent while your destiny is being discussed. Do you realize, my child, how much you matter? They wouldn't plan your removal if you were ordinary. They wouldn't waste their breath if you carried nothing. They wouldn't gather in secret if you weren't carrying light. The enemy only fights what threatens him. And you, beloved, you are a threat. Not because of your strength alone, but because of the mark God placed on you before you were even born. Michael says, I have stood guard over nations. I have defended kings. But my sword is drawn now for you. Do you know what that means? It means you are not small. You are not invisible. You are not powerless. You are the very reason the heavens are rumbling right now. Beloved, listen to this carefully. They think they can strip you. They think they can push you aside quietly. But what they don't know is that heaven is recording every word. And when they speak against you, they are not just speaking against a person. They are speaking against a chosen vessel of God. And God does not stay silent when His child is attacked. My child, let me ask you something. Why do you think Michael gave you this warning early? Why didn't heaven wait until after the meeting? Because heaven wants you to stand, not broken. Heaven wants you to face this, not fear it. Heaven wants you to know the truth before the lies reach your ears. They may use words like concern and change, but do not be deceived. Their intent is sharp, but their power is weak. They forgot something. You are not standing alone. The King of Heaven is behind you. The Archangel of War is beside you. And the Spirit of God is inside you. Child, can you feel that shield? Even as you breathe, it is wrapping around you. Even as you sit, angels are circling you. Even as you read, fire is building in the unseen realm. This is why you cannot skip. Every second you remain, the shield grows stronger. Every line you receive, your spirit rises higher. This is not information, it is transformation. Beloved, don't you see it? The very table they are setting will be flipped. The very voices plotting against you will be silenced. The very papers written with your name will be torn. And the ones who thought they could remove you will end up removing themselves. But hear me. This is not a time to relax. This is a time to stay awake. Stay connected. Stay listening. Because heaven is pouring secrets into you that were never meant for human ears. And if you miss this, you may never hear it again. My child, let me remind you of something. When God says you are His, no one can unchoose you. When God calls you, no one can uncall you. When God appoints you, no one can unappoint you. And no meeting, no counsel, no hidden discussion can undo what heaven has already sealed. 2 hours left, beloved. But heaven says, 2 hours is enough. Enough for me to shift it. Enough for me to expose it. Enough for me to turn it in your favor. Do not fear the clock. The clock is not your enemy. The clock is proof that God works in divine timing. Stay with me. Don't turn away. Because the longer you stay, the clearer you'll see what they tried to hide. The longer you stay, the louder Michael's voice becomes. The longer you stay, the stronger your protection grows. You are not reading a message. You are standing inside a miracle. My beloved. My child of promise. Lean closer now, because every second matters. The winds of heaven are stirring louder, and I am not allowed to keep this hidden from you. 2 hours. 2 fragile, human hours. That's all the enemy thinks he has to snatch what belongs to you. But listen, time belongs to God, not to them. The very minutes they count down are the very minutes God is rewriting in your favor. Do you feel that tightness in your spirit? That restless pull inside your chest? That is not fear, child. That is your soul recognizing truth when it arrives. Heaven is brushing against your heart, trying to wake you before you drift back into distraction. Michael said this clearly. My child, tell them not to fear the whispers, for the whispers will scatter. Tell them not to fear the meeting, for I will be in the room before they enter. Tell them not to fear removal, for God's seal cannot be erased. Beloved, the reason this feels so heavy is because you are not just fighting people. You are standing against powers that do not want you to rise. But greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. Do you believe that? Do you trust that heaven would never send this urgent call if victory wasn't already prepared? I see you now. Yes, you. You're tired of battles, tired of betrayals, tired of wondering why people you trusted turned against you. And here they are again, meeting in secret, deciding your fate as if your destiny is theirs to play with. But heaven says, no more. This far and no further. My dear one, you must understand this. You were not chosen because life would be easy. You were chosen because you could carry the weight of heaven's glory. And the heavier the crown, the greater the attacks. But no attack has ever defeated the one who stands under God's covering. Child, don't you see the pattern? Every time they rise against you, something bigger comes afterward. Every time they try to push you out, God opens a greater door. And this moment is no different. What they meant for harm will backfire. What they meant for removal will trigger your promotion. Michael is not warning you to make you afraid. He is warning you so you walk into the next hours with boldness. So you hold your head high. So you don't shrink when you hear rumors. So you remember, heaven already told you what they would say, but heaven also told you they will fail. Beloved, I must ask you to stay with me. Don't scroll away. Don't break this flow. Every sentence is building a shield around you. Every word is planting strength in your spirit. If you cut this short, you will feel exposed again. But if you stay, you will finish wrapped in fire. 2 hours. 2 hours left on their clock. But eternity is on your side. My child, I promise you this. When they gather, the first sound that will fill the room will not be their voice, it will be confusion. The very lips that rise against you will stumble. The very hand that writes your removal will tremble. And those who plotted in unity will argue among themselves. Because no plan against God's child can stand. Listen. Michael just leaned in and said, "Tell them, you don't even have to defend yourself. You don't even have to speak. Your silence will carry the weight of heaven, and your enemies will choke on their own schemes." My beloved, pause. Breathe deeply. Do you feel that? That strange calm pressing into your storm? That is heaven's reassurance. You are not losing. You are about to win in a way they never saw coming. And when this passes, they will regret ever touching your name. Because touching you is touching the apple of God's eye. And no hand that touches God's eye escapes judgment. Stay here with me, child. Stay until the end. For this message is not finished. And neither is your story. This is only the beginning of their unraveling, and your rising. My beloved child. My chosen one. Why do your hands feel cold right now? Why does your chest feel like it's carrying both fear and fire? Because your spirit knows this is not a random message, this is the exact hour heaven planned to open your eyes. 2 hours left. That is what Michael keeps repeating. 2 hours before the circle gathers. 2 hours before words are spoken that were sharpened in secret. 2 hours before your name is placed like a burden on their table. But child, don't you see? They think it's their table. They think it's their plan. They think it's their voice that decides your future. But the truth is, every table belongs to God. Every breath belongs to Him. Every voice speaks only because He allows it. Michael says, "My child, they are arranging a meeting to discuss your removal, but what they don't know is that heaven has already scheduled another meeting above theirs. And in that meeting, your name was spoken with favor, not rejection. With blessing, not curses. With promotion, not removal." Do you feel that surge in your body? That trembling? That warmth? That's the Spirit agreeing inside of you. You know deep down this is true. Beloved, let me tell you what will happen. They will sit. They will whisper. They will argue. And in the middle of their plans, one will falter. One will slip. One will expose more than they intended. And the truth of their envy will be laid bare. And when that happens, you will not even have to be in the room. For God Himself will answer for you. Michael's sword will hover in that very place. Their tongues will twist. Their hands will shake. And by the end of it, the only thing removed will be their power to harm you. Oh, child, do not skip this. Do not think for a moment that this is coincidence. Do not let the enemy trick you into distraction. Because if you leave now, you'll step out before the miracle is complete. And heaven is saying, stay until the end. Every word you read is another lock breaking. Every truth you hold is another chain shattering. My beloved, you've been through storms before. You've been lied about. You've been overlooked. You've been betrayed. And yet you're still here. Do you think that's by chance? No, child. It's because every attack against you has been turned into a stepping stone. Every wound became a scar of strength. Every plot became fuel for your rising. This time will be no different. In fact, this time will be bigger. Because the more they push, the higher God lifts. The harder they plan, the louder heaven laughs. The deeper their hatred, the greater your testimony. 2 hours left. But let me tell you this. By the time those 2 hours end, the heavens will already have shifted things in your favor. You won't have to beg. You won't have to fight. You won't even have to explain yourself. Because heaven itself will answer for you. Michael is speaking boldly now. He says, "Tell them this, I am not only warning you, I am standing with you. I am walking into that meeting before they do. I am scattering their words before they reach the air. And when the time comes, I will make them choke on their own schemes." My beloved one, let this truth sink in. You are not defenseless. You are not unprotected. You are not at their mercy. You are covered. You are surrounded. You are chosen. And when God says you are chosen, removal is impossible. When God says you are planted, uprooting is futile. When God says you are rising, no one can keep you down. So breathe, child. Lift your chin. Don't fear the clock. Don't fear the whispers. Don't fear the meeting. For they are walking into their own trap, and you are walking into your victory. This is not the end. This is the moment heaven proves once again. No plan against you can prosper. My beloved. My precious one. You are not late, heaven brought you right on time. Every breath you take right now is part of a divine countdown that ends in your victory, not your defeat. 2 hours left. But those 2 hours are bending in your favor. They think the clock is theirs, but time bows to the one who made it. And he has already leaned the minutes toward your destiny. Child, hear me. The plan they drew was written with shaky hands. The folder they carry is heavy with insecurity. The reasons they present will be dressed as logic, but the engine beneath it is envy. Their arguments will look polished, but heaven will show the cracks. Michael is standing, not sitting. His wings are not folded, he is ready. He says, "I will not allow what God planted to be uprooted by hands that tremble with jealousy." And that includes you. Breathe. Let your shoulders drop. You are not in danger, you are under decision. And the decision has already been made in your favor. You ask, why me? Because your voice carries oil. Because your presence turns lights on. Because your name carries the sound of assignment. They tried to label you replaceable, but heaven calls you irreplaceable. They tried to call you temporary, but heaven stamped you established. My child, don't rush past this line. You were not brought here to be anxious. You were brought here to be armed. Every sentence you receive is a blade against their whispers. Every truth you accept is a wall raised around your name. 2 hours left. In the first hour, God exposes. In the second hour, God reverses. By the end, all that remains is the testimony of how you survived what was meant to bury you. They will bring up mistakes. They will bring up concerns. They will pretend it is about order and structure. But heaven will let one sentence slip that reveals the root, jealousy. When that line drops, watch how their faces shift. Watch how their unity breaks. Truth always divides those built on lies. Beloved, you have already won more battles than you've counted. Do not measure your future by your feelings. Measure it by God's faithfulness. He has never failed you. He will not start now. Let me speak to your mind. Peace to your thoughts. Calm to your breath. Order to your chest. Your nerves do not control you, your spirit leads. And your spirit is hearing heaven clearly. Stand still and see what I will do for you. Michael says, when they speak your name with intent to remove, I will speak it with intent to raise. When they point at your seat, I will point at your crown. When they move their hands against you, I will move the room against them. Child, you are not going to lose what God gave you. What is yours by divine appointment cannot be voted away by human opinion. Your assignment doesn't expire because someone is uncomfortable with your growth. Growth is your proof that God is still working. Stay here with me. Don't break the flow. The enemy is terrified of your attention because your attention unlocks protection. Every line is an angel stepping closer. Every word is a wall around your destiny. 2 hours left. But hear this secret. Heaven already ran ahead into those hours and returned to tell you the outcome. That's why this message carries peace. That's why your spirit keeps nodding. It's because you're tasting tomorrow's victory today. You will not have to shout. You will not have to beg. You will not have to prove yourself to people who pre-decided not to see you. Your fruit will speak. Your consistency will speak. Your favor will speak. And when favor speaks, rooms listen. I know you've been tired. I know the last season drained you more than you admitted. But this is not another cycle of loss. This is the cycle breaker. This is where heaven says, enough. This is where patterns stop and purpose takes the wheel. Do you remember the last time they tried something like this? You came out wiser. You came out clearer. You came out with a new door you didn't even ask for. This time will exceed that. Because what they meant for removal is going to be repurposed into your unveiling. Michael is whispering again. Tell them I stood by the Red Sea. Tell them I watched walls fall. Tell them I saw prisons open. And I have seen enough to know, this is small for God. If seas can split, rooms can shift. If walls can fall, agendas can fail. If prisons can open, tables can turn. Beloved, keep your posture. Shoulders back. Chin lifted. Heart soft. Spirit steady. You are not an accident walking, you are a prophecy unfolding. 2 hours left. But even now, heaven is sending helpers you didn't know you had. A quiet advocate in that room. A person whose conscience won't let them lie. A voice that will ask the question no one planned to answer. Truth will slip in through the smallest crack, and once it's in, it will flood the place. Do not be surprised when someone suddenly defends you. Do not be shocked when a closed face softens. Do not be alarmed when a hostile voice becomes hesitant. Michael will tug at hearts while you rest. God will tilt the room while you breathe. You feared losing what you built. But you're about to gain what you didn't have time to build. A wider field. A firmer ground. A louder reach. A stronger team. This is the paradox of favor: what they try to shrink, God multiplies. Keep your hands clean. Keep your words few. Keep your gaze high. Heaven will do the heavy lifting. You simply have to stay in agreement with what God already said about you. You are not behind. You are positioned. You are not vulnerable. You are covered. You are not replaceable. You are rare. 2 hours left. Let the words settle like oil over your head. No removal. No reduction. No reversal of your calling. Only refining. Only revealing. Only rising. Child, if you feel tears right now, let them fall. They are not fear, they are release. They are washing away the residue of old battles. They are making room for what is about to arrive. Hear the decree. Your name will not be used as a cautionary tale. Your name will be lifted as a case study in divine protection. They will say, "We don't know how they kept their place," and the answer will be simple. God. Michael adds one instruction. Do not answer rumors. Do not feed fires. Do not explain yourself to flames. Walk in quiet power and let heaven speak in public when the time is right. Your silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. Your restraint isn't fear, it's leadership. Your calm isn't denial, it's trust. Beloved, can you feel the shift? It's subtle but strong. The atmosphere around your name is changing. The weight is lifting. The verdict is turning. The gates are opening. 2 hours left, but peace is here now. 2 hours left, but favor is here now. 2 hours left, but the outcome is written now. Say this softly, let your spirit hear it. I agree with heaven. I do not fear their plans. I stand where God placed me. I will see this turn in my favor. And it will. Because it's already turning. My beloved. My dear child of light. I see your soul trembling between fear and faith right now. And that trembling is not weakness, it is the sign of transition. Heaven is pulling you across a threshold while the enemy tries to drag you back. 2 hours left. But already the clock is bending in your favor. Already the unseen world is shifting to prepare your defense. Already the whispers they rehearsed are turning into confusion. Child, let me take you into the vision Michael showed me. He let me see the table. It was long, covered in papers, and your name was written there. They circled it, underlined it, and pointed at it with bitter fingers. One leaned forward with a smirk, certain of victory. Another nodded in agreement, hiding envy behind fake concern. But then, before the first word was spoken, Michael entered unseen. And as his sword touched the air, their confidence began to crack. Beloved, this is why heaven begged you to stay with this message. You needed to know before it unfolded. You needed to walk in prepared, not panicked. You needed to feel peace, not pressure. Listen carefully. God has a pattern. Every time the enemy gathers in secret, God intervenes in public. Every time they whisper, remove, God thunders, restore. Every time they scheme to push you out, heaven shifts to pull you higher. Do you remember Joseph, child? His brothers gathered in secret to remove him. They called it the end. But God called it the beginning. And the pit they used became the pathway to his palace. So it will be with you. My beloved, don't miss this. The enemy is not after your seat alone, he is after your voice. Your light. Your influence. Because he knows once you rise fully, nothing will silence you. But heaven laughs, because no darkness can snuff out what God himself has lit. 2 hours left. But Michael says, even if they sit, even if they plot, they cannot remove what heaven has rooted. They can only expose themselves. And when they do, the very ground they stand on will shake. Child, you've been asking silently, why so much resistance? Why me? And heaven answers, because your destiny carries weight. Because what you build will outlive you. Because you are marked to shift more than you can see. And the enemy knows it. This is not about today only. This is about generations. This is about doors you're opening for those who come after you. That is why the enemy tries so hard to cut you off now. But he cannot win. Beloved, take courage. Lift your head. Your removal is not written. Your rising is. Your end is not scheduled. Your expansion is. Michael said, I will fight where they gather. I will scatter where they scheme. And when they speak, their words will fall heavy on themselves, not on you. Child, do not waste your energy arguing. Do not waste your breath proving. Do not waste your heart fearing. Stand still, and watch. Because the next 2 hours are not against you, they are for you. They are heaven's countdown to a testimony that will make your enemies speechless. And when the meeting ends, you will not be removed. You will be remembered. Not as the one they erased, but as the one God protected. Not as the one they silenced, but as the one heaven defended. Not as the one they buried, but as the one who rose higher. 2 hours left. But peace is already here. Victory is already here. Michael is already here. My child, let your soul rest. Because God never loses. And neither do you. My beloved child. My treasured one. Stay with me, because every moment you remain here, heaven strengthens your shield. Every word you read is another angel taking their position beside you. And right now, the battlefield is tilting in your favor. 2 hours left. But hear me clearly, those hours are not running out for you, they are running out for them. The clock does not tick against the chosen, it ticks against the plotters. Every second closer to their meeting is every second closer to their exposure. Michael whispered this. Do not be afraid of the table, for I have already set my own table for you. Do not be afraid of their voices, for I will scatter their unity. Do not be afraid of their notes, for their writing will not stand against God's decree. Beloved, let me take you deeper. Do you realize that God always allows the enemy to speak first, so his victory will echo louder? The Red Sea was blocked first, then it opened. The walls of Jericho stood tall first, then they crumbled. The cross looked final first, then the stone rolled away. So too, they will gather first, but their plan will fall. Child, you are not ordinary. If you were, the enemy would not bother with you. The reason there is a meeting with your name on it is because there is a mantle on you too heavy to be ignored. They see the oil, even if they pretend not to. They feel the light, even if they cover their eyes. And they cannot stand that God chose you instead of them. 2 hours left. But heaven says, I gave you the warning not to frighten you, but to fortify you. Not to weaken you, but to awaken you. Not to threaten you, but to remind you, I am with you. Beloved, listen carefully. When you walk in alignment with God, you cannot be removed, you can only be repositioned for greater. What they intend to take away, God intends to multiply. What they plan to reduce, God plans to expand. What they think will end you will only introduce you to your next beginning. My child, let your heart settle. Do not pace. Do not panic. The same God who counted David's stones, who measured Daniel's nights, who ordered Esther's steps, is counting, measuring, and ordering yours. Michael is not here by chance. When he comes, it means war in the heavens. And war in the heavens always ends in victory for God's chosen. Beloved one, hold this close. They cannot vote you out of what God appointed you into. They cannot close what heaven has opened. They cannot erase what eternity has written. 2 hours left. And yet, already, their plan is trembling. Already, their unity is cracking. Already, their confidence is crumbling. When the meeting begins, expect interruptions. Expect questions they cannot answer. Expect silence where there should have been noise. For heaven will be in the room, shifting the atmosphere, bending the outcome. My child, you will not be humiliated. You will be elevated. You will not be cast aside. You will be cast forward. You will not be cut off. You will be crowned. Do not let fear trick you into thinking you're alone. You are surrounded. Even now, angels are standing guard, not just around your name but around your future. Your destiny is untouchable, your assignment unshakable, your place undeniable. So rest, beloved. Stay here in the flow. For every breath of this message is preparing you to walk through the next hours with courage, with fire, with victory already sealed. 2 hours left. But heaven has already declared. You cannot be removed. You can only be revealed. My beloved. My child wrapped in eternal light. Do you know why your spirit refuses to let you leave this message? Because heaven is still pouring, still whispering, still making sure you are not left vulnerable in this hour. 2 hours left. But I must tell you again, it is not your countdown, it is theirs. They are racing against a clock that God has already broken. They are speaking words into the air that dissolve the moment Michael breathes against them. Beloved, picture this clearly. They will sit around their table with papers and pens, but they do not realize that another table is above them, higher than theirs, brighter than theirs. At God's table, your name is not written under the category of removal. It is written under chosen, preserved, established. My child, Michael said. Tell them, I have surrounded them with fire. Tell them, the word spoken against them will return empty. Tell them, I will cut the strings of fear that try to wrap around their chest. Can you feel it? The release? The weight slowly lifting as heaven speaks? That is not coincidence. That is the breaking of invisible chains you carried too long. Beloved, lean in now, because what I say next is not light, it is a decree. When they speak your name, it will shake. When they mention your removal, it will scatter. When they write their notes, the ink will blur in heaven's eyes. Because God will not allow them to write what He has not signed. 2 hours left. But your spirit is already ahead of them. That's why you feel this urgency. That's why you can't skip. You are walking into tomorrow with today's protection already wrapped around you. Child, let me ask you something. How many times did you think it was over, only for God to open a new door? How many times did they celebrate your ending, only to watch you rise again? And here you are, still standing, still chosen, still breathing. Why? Because your life is not in their hands. It is in God's. Beloved, don't miss this truth. If you are still here, it is because you have not yet finished what heaven sent you to do. And no meeting, no council, no group can silence an unfinished assignment. Michael says again, I have been to their table before you. I have leaned my wings across their notes. I have marked your seat with heaven's seal. They cannot remove what carries my protection. Child, this is not the time to fear, it is the time to anchor. Anchor your heart in truth. Anchor your breath in peace. Anchor your faith in the God who never abandons His child. 2 hours left. But in the unseen realm, victory has already spoken. The plan has already failed. The plot has already cracked. The whisper has already lost its power. Beloved, when the dust settles, you will not be the one missing from the room. You will be the one standing taller, shining brighter, proving once again that heaven's child cannot be erased. And when this is over, they will whisper a different sentence. How did they survive this? And the answer will echo. Because God said so. Stay here, my child. Don't rush. Don't break this flow. The longer you remain, the more your spirit strengthens. The more you receive, the stronger your armor becomes. And by the end of this message, you will not tremble, you will roar. 2 hours left, yes. But for you, victory has already arrived.